Let's find a derivative by the implicit differentiation. So in this case here, we're going to take the derivative with respect to x on both sides. So the derivative with respect to x of y times the sine of x squared is equal to the derivative with respect to x of x times the sine of y squared. Okay, so in the first part here, we know that we have a product rule. So we're going to go ahead and then multiply this, but then we also know that we're going to have a chain rule associated with sine of x squared. So if we take y times the derivative of sine x squared, which is the cosine of x squared, times the derivative of the inside function. So we know that the derivative of the inside function of x squared is 2x. Plus, now we're going to take the derivative of y. So the derivative of y is 1 times the implicit differentiation of y prime times the function sine of x squared. That's going to equal the other side. So again, we're going to use the product rule over here. So we're going to take x and then multiply it by the outside function of sine y squared, the derivative of that. So the derivative of that function is going to be the cosine of y squared times the derivative of the inside function of y squared, which is equal to 2y times y prime, plus the derivative of x, which is going to equal 1, times the sine of y squared. Okay, so now let's go ahead and multiply this all out. So we have 2xy times the cosine of x squared plus y prime times the sine of x squared equals 2xy y prime times the cosine of y squared plus the sine of y squared. Okay, our next goal is to then isolate the y primes on one side of the equation. So we're going to isolate these two on the left side, and then these two are then going to be on the right side of the equation. So we have y prime times the sine of x squared, and then we're subtracting 2xy y prime times the cosine of y squared. So that's going to be on the left side. On the right side, we're going to have sine of y squared and then minus 2xy times the cosine of x squared. Okay, and the reason we want to do that is because we want to factor out the y prime so we can solve. So we have y prime, and then what's left is the sine of x squared minus 2xy times the cosine of y squared, and that's equal to the sine of y squared minus 2xy times the cosine of x squared. Okay, and then we're going to divide both sides by the sine of x squared minus 2xy times the cosine of y squared. Over here, we're going to have sine of x squared minus 2xy times the cosine of y squared. And so therefore, we would get y prime, which is equal to the sine of y squared minus 2xy times the cosine of x squared divided by the sine of x squared minus 2xy times the cosine of y squared. And therefore, there is the derivative of this function.